Hey guys, I just wanted to do my labor and delivery story. Taj is 2 months and a week old on Saturday. So I know it's kind of late, but as you guys know, my husband deployed unexpectedly about 2 weeks early. So we were supposed to do it together, but I just didn't have I don't know, I didn't really feel like doing it once he was deployed early, and I just need to deal with that. So here I am giving you guys a labor and delivery story. So here we go. My husband and I, the baby wasn't dropping, or Taj wasn't dropping, because the doctor thought he was too big to drop, and maybe my pelvis bone was too narrow. So he said, come in on Saturday, and we'll induce you, see what happens, and if worse comes to worse, you'll have to have a C-section. Which I wasn't scared about, but I was like, alright, whatever is the way to get him out, let's get him out. So we got to the hospital around, he told us to be at 5 o'clock, but we got there like at 4:45. We got there kind of early, and the nurses looked at us like, Dr. Walon didn't tell us you guys were going to come. And I was like, well, we're not leaving. So they gave us a room. They admitted us in a room. We walked in the room. It kind of felt kind of odd because we just had our stuff. Well, some of our stuff, most of it left in the car. And the lady said, okay, go ahead and put this gown on. And I wasn't in labor yet, so I feel weird being in this gown in this room, and I'm not in labor. Um, so I get in the gown and I sit on the bed and I jump on Twitter and tell everybody that, I did all my Twitter updates so I could kind of look back on it. And so, yeah. So we get in the room, and then the nurse calls the doctor, and they said, okay, we're going to go ahead and start you on the Pitocin. And I thought it was something else, but it was Pitocin, and see what happens. So they started me on that about, I would say, 5:30 a.m. So they said we're going to slowly introduce it to your system. We're not going to shock you. I don't want you to hate me is what the nurse said. So we'll go ahead and just introduce it slowly. So she introduced it slowly, and I slowly got contractions. And about 3 or 4 hours into it, she was like, do you need the epidural? And I was like, no. She looks at the screen, looks at me, looks at the screen. Are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. Why? She's like, well, it looks like you should need it, if not soon. And I was like, no, I'm feeling good. I looked at my husband. I'm like, oh, no. So she was like, okay, well, I'll come back. So she comes back an hour later. And I call my grandma because she asked me again, like between the hour. And I was like, I call my grandma, and my grandma's an anesthesiologist, so she knows all that stuff. So I call my grandma, like, why does she keep asking me? I don't want to get the epidural too soon because it'll wear off. And my grandma's like, no, the way it is now, it's a continuous drip. So go ahead and get it because you don't want to get it when you're in pain because you have to sit a certain way and all this stuff. So it'll be very uncomfortable for you. So go ahead and get it now. So I called the nurse, or my husband called the nurse, and he said she wants her epidural now. So the nurse comes in, are you in pain? And I was like, no, not really, but I didn't know it was a continuous drip. I thought it was something that could wear off like it did in the past. I think he's pooping, so sorry for the grunts. So she goes ahead and gave me the epidural. Actually, no, before she gave me the epidural, my water broke. And so I told my husband, go get something to eat because I think the pain's going to start soon. And he's like, okay, okay, okay. So he went to go downstairs, got a burrito, came back. And I'm like, nothing's happening. So then I got the epidural like maybe an hour later. And I was still dilated to 1 centimeter. They never told me how face I was, but whatever. Then the ultrasound tech comes in and tells us that Taj is estimated to weigh about 7 pounds, 6 ounces. The doctor came in like an hour later. He was like, no, I don't think so. I think it's going to be like 8.5 pounds, maybe 9. And I was like, whoa, oh my God. Wow. So, then, okay, contractions were pretty okay. From a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being very painful, they were about a 3, to be totally honest with you. Then right after the game epidural, I slept for like maybe 2 hours. I think I'm going out of whack here, but anyway. I slept for like 2 hours, and my husband did not sleep at all. He was on Facebook, he was downloading music, listening to music, watching movies. He could not sleep. He was like on edge. And so, yeah. And then after I woke up, it went really fast. The doctor was like, "You're not progressing. I'm gonna go ahead and give you another hour. Do you want another hour to see what happens?" I was like, "Sure, why not? I don't really care." And then like 20 minutes later, the nurses come in and said, "Okay, we're gonna prep you for your C-section." I was like, "Oh, I thought he was gonna give me an hour." He's like, "No, the doctor decided nothing's gonna really happen because at the time for 20 minutes they had me turn from one side for 5 minutes, turn the other way, and then back and forth, flipping like a pancake to see if he would drop, but he didn't. He's looking right at the screen." Um, so I was like, all right, let's do this. So it was really fast. I think they told us they're gonna have the C-section at like 3:45, and he was born at 3:35. Um, the whole C-section was not bad. I told my husband, don't tell me what's going on, but of course he told me anyway. He was like, do you smell that? Do you feel that? Oh my god! And his face was like. So I decided to just hum myself a song, and I was like, okay, by the time I'm done humming this song, he will be here. And literally halfway through the song, he was here. And the only thing I felt through the C-section was them pulling him out of me, but it really felt like someone was like yanking me like this, like jerking me. Um, the weird thing is I could totally feel my legs. I probably could have walked if I wanted to, because I could still lift my legs, even though they said when you have your epidural, you shouldn't be able to do that, but I was. So he came out and started crying. I immediately like was bawling, and my husband goes, flies away from me to go be next to Taj's side, of course. And he brings me to him maybe like 2 or 3 minutes later, and his face is just smiling. And the first thing I see is all his hair. He had so much hair, guys. Like, his hair's gotten a lot thicker. A lot of times they say baby's hair falls out, but his did not. Um, so, yeah. So this is, I'm going to show you a picture. One of the first pictures that my husband took of him when he was born. So you can kind of understand what I mean by all this freaking hair. Let's see, will it adjust? Let's see. So this is when they were cleaning him up, and you can see all the hair. So I got into recovery. My husband went with the baby so they can weigh him, take his footprints, all that stuff. I got into recovery, and they said, you can get out of recovery and go to your room once you can lift your legs and lift your bottom. And I was like, I can do that right now. And so I did it, and she was like, well, let me give you another 20 minutes, okay? So I said, okay. So my husband comes like 10 minutes later, showing me all the pictures he took of Taj while they're weighing him and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my god, he's so cute. So immediately I started taking pictures of the pictures so I can text people. And so the lady comes back in 20 minutes later and said, okay, can you still lift yourself and your bottom? I did it. Bam. She's like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get you released, get you your room. So we get to our room probably around, I'd say 5:30. And we're waiting on Taj. We're waiting. And the nurse is like, okay, we'll bring him, but go ahead and take a nap. We want to make sure the drugs wear off. And I'm like, all right, but I feel good. I want to see my baby. They did not bring him to my room, until like 9:35. No fucking joke. Which we were very pissed about. My husband called the nursery like 4 times to bring him to our room. So finally they brought him, and of course we forgot all that. And it was awesome. I first started breastfeeding right away, and it wasn't painful, honestly, right away. I thought, oh, this is going to be a piece of cake. It didn't get painful probably until like the 10th time that I fed him while I was in the hospital, and my right nipple started to crack like really bad. But yeah, that's my labor and delivery story, guys. C-section was not that bad. My scar is literally like paper thin. It's about maybe 4 inches long, 4 to 5 inches long, and it's really not that bad at all. So the reason why I want to tell the story is my contractions weren't that bad. I got the epidural because, I wanted to be proactive. I got it so I won't be in pain. The epidural wasn't that bad. The guy missed when he gave it to me. That kind of hurt, but it was like, okay, that's it. The only thing that really hurt, honestly, was when they were checking to see how dilated it was. That hurt like a mofo, because they go all the way up, and I feel like they flick you. I don't think they do that, but I don't know. It feels like a flick, and that, After she did that, I would look at her and like, what the heck did I get into? But after they gave me the epidural and they checked me again, I was like, I don't feel anything. You can stick your fist in there. I don't really notice. And then I will tell you, when you get a C-section, my nurses weren't very good. I don't think, because after they took the catheter out, they didn't tell me I need to drink a lot of water so that I can flush my system out. I didn't drink. I drank a lot of water, but when they first put me in the room, I said don't drink a lot of water, and then they never told me to change that. So then she got mad at me for not drinking water, and I'm like, you didn't tell me to drink water. So of course I downed water, and then she got mad at me for not walking in the hallways with the rest of the mommies. You never told me to go walking. So when I first went walking, it was not painful, but I felt sore. Like I've been doing like thousands of push-ups or sit-ups, excuse me. But what didn't hurt, the only thing that hurt is when I got home and I tried to get out of our bed. That hurt because our bed's low and you have to use all your muscles in your abdomen to pick you up. So I slept on the couch a few nights when we got home. But yeah, you guys, labor is not that bad. I'm so glad I'm not scared because, or it wasn't that bad for me because I'm not scared to have another one, which is probably a bad thing because I'll probably rush to have another one because it wasn't that bad. But yeah, he's amazing. He's gotten so big. Let me show you guys. This is an infant jacket, and I don't think he's gonna fit it much longer. And he's only 2 months old. So, oh yeah, you pooped for sure. He's the light of my life. He's gotten so much darker, as you guys can see from the video that I had him in before. His hair has gotten so thick. It curls up so cute when we give him a bath. But other than that, he's really active. I think he's trying to turn over lately. He can stand, you know, hold himself up and pick his stuff back down, all that stuff. He doesn't sleep completely through the night, but he'll sleep like 3 or 4 hours, sometimes 5, and then wake up, eat, and then do it again. But yeah, that's about it, guys. So yeah, I will see you guys later, and we'll think of another video to do. I don't know. I might do a day in the life of a mommy, but my days are pretty boring. We don't really do much. We stay home. We go visit family on some days, stuff like that. So, but it'll see. Maybe on an exciting day I'll do it. Alright, guys. Have a great day and be very blessed. Bye.